Tonight on Connecticut's news station, the ballot battle continues in court, and we're getting a look at new video in the voter fraud case out of Bridgeport. Plus, the woman in the center of the video takes the stand.
And a couple facing charges after an alleged verbal attack on landscapers, and now the company is speaking out.
Plus, as the conflict escalates in Israel and Gaza, more shows of support here at home. We'll show you how one community is standing in solidarity.
Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
And good evening, and thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. The Bridgeport ballot scandal continued in court, and the lady at the center of the now viral surveillance video took the stand.
Yeah, Wanda Jeter-Pataki was called as a witness while new shocking video evidence was released. Fox 61's Matt Caron has all the day's developments.
Well, you know, there's that old saying, a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? And today we saw pictures, new ones, many of them, but we heard very few words from Wanda, who pled the fifth. Day 2 of evidence in Bridgeport brought Wanda Jeter to the stand.
Wanda Louise Jeter-Pataki.
And new video to the screen. 20 minutes showing 9 people making 24 drops into absentee ballot boxes.
Fists full of ballots, and the numbers are just not going to add up. They're not going to.
Attorneys for the city of Bridgeport admit it may not have been a clean election, but they also say the evidence isn't strong enough to throw the whole thing out.
This election may have had bad actors involved. I'm not saying that that didn't occur. But it's not to a level that would disenfranchise all the thousands of voters who did it right.
Many of the new video clips depict Wanda Jeter appearing to supervise and escort other people making deposits. One even showing her with a bag, high-fiving someone after they made a drop. Some deposits in broad daylight, others in darkness. Testifying for the first time since the leak of now infamous social media video, she answered few questions.
You voted in favor of Mayor Gannon, endorsing Mayor Gannon.
Yes.
Pleading the fifth, her right to remain silent.
Were you paid for any of your work on the Gannon campaign?
I object at this point.
In addition to this new video evidence, the Gomes legal team claims every single absentee ballot cast in the city lacked the proper stamp and signature from the town clerk in order to be considered a valid vote.
Every absentee ballot that was counted in the city of Bridgeport failed to comply with a mandatory Connecticut state law.
The city says a simple manufacturing defect in the original signed stamp forced them to use a loaner while they waited for a replacement.
So this great conspiracy that we've all been hearing about isn't there.
And it's also not the rest of the evidence.
One piece of evidence the Gomes team will never have is video surveillance from outside the absentee ballot drop box at Bridgeport City Hall. That's because the camera in that area is just too poor. Meanwhile, the Gomes legal team does plan to call Mayor Joe Gannon to the stand to testify when this case begins next on Tuesday. Reporting outside Bridgeport Superior Court, Matt Caron, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Matt, thank you. Well, new details tonight. A former Glastonbury police officer is accused of more than 30 burglaries spanning 3 states. According to Patrick Hemingway's arrest warrant, he targeted safes and cash registers at multiple businesses in Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts. All of the incidents happening between February and June of this year while Hemingway was an officer with the Glastonbury Police Department. He resigned from his position last month. Right now, Hemingway is not charged for the burglaries, but he is being held on $1 million bond for computer crimes charges.
And you're meeting the man behind a viral video. He's the owner of an East Hartford landscaping business. He says he was verbally attacked on the job. The whole thing was recorded. Middletown couples now being criminally charged. Fox 61's Carmen Chow is at the Middletown Police Department with what we know about the incident. Carmen.
The workers were called to a job at a home in Middletown this past Sunday when all of a sudden a couple approaches them aggressively spewing hurtful words because of their race. Sunday morning, Jose Martin and his brother arrived at a home on Frisbee Street to do landscaping work.
It was like a normal day for us.
until things took a turn for the worst in the afternoon. The video shows a couple from 2 houses down suddenly approaching Martin and his brother in an aggressive manner. Police have identified them as 62-year-old Robert Shaw and 58-year-old Sharon Bourgeois Williams.
She started cursing me. As soon as I see that, I pull out my phone.
The video shows Shaw also pulls out his phone to record, complaining of the noise from the landscaping equipment.
Disturbing the entire neighborhood all day long.
The couple can be heard continuing to berate Martin and his brother in the video that has since exploded on social media.
And these people are paying you? These people are paying you?
We asked you nicely, how long are you going to keep the noise up? It went on from this morning till now, and you can't even answer the question.
Minutes later, the couple can be heard asking Martin and his brother if they had work visas and their immigration status.
They say, oh, that's why we need the borderline here to take this clown out of here.
Do you have a visa to be here? You don't even have a visa, do you?
You don't have nothing to be here?
Are you here legally?
Martin telling Fox 61 this is a moment he will never forget.
It made me feel super bad, you know, because discrimination like that is not tolerated, because no matter who you are or what country you are, nobody deserves to be discriminated the way they discriminate us.
I approached the couple's home to try and get a comment. Did you want to get your story out there? The door was opened and then closed on us. Further investigation led to a warrant for the couple's arrest. Both turned themselves in Thursday evening and have been charged with disorderly conduct. The couple was released on a $10,000 bond, and they are expected to reappear in court later this month. In Middletown, Carmen Chow, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Carmen, some great weather to end the week. And how's the weekend looking?
Yeah, Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frayne joining us now. Rachel, I think what everybody's wondering is, will Brent be able to get outside and put up his new shutters?
Oh my gosh, yes. And everyone calm down. He will.
I was not calm about that. Yeah, you're right.
There will be. There's good news and bad news about Saturday. The good news is it is not a total washout. The bad news is it's not the most beautiful looking day, and we will at least see some rain. More in some places rather than others, though. We'll talk more about that in just a moment. 60 degrees in Hartford. And you know what? I want to go back to this beautiful shot because you can see the sun is setting. I mean, it's a beautiful picture, but why? Why is it getting darker here at 6 o'clock in the evening? A sign of the times. Temperatures are in the 50s to right around 60 degrees. And we'll see overnight lows tonight dip back into the 40s as we head towards daybreak with increasing clouds. But we are dry and we have no weather concerns for this evening if you have any outdoor plans. The next system is heading our way. This is it. And instead of hitting us directly, it will dive to the south and we'll kind of be on the northern fringe of this system as we head into the day tomorrow. But we are dry for the Hartford Marathon. And I think we're dry for much of the state unless you live in Fairfield County during the morning hours tomorrow. We'll start the day off in the 40s, maybe even some breaks in the overcast, and then the clouds will really increase. We'll see a cooler day overall, but again, dry for the Hartford Marathon and then a rising chance for rain. We'll talk about it. Your full forecast coming up.
Rachel, thank you. 3 Hartford residents are facing charges now in connection to armed robberies that happened during online marketplace exchanges. John Villegas, Jalen LaSalle, and Valerie Meneses are accused of buying things on Facebook Marketplace and OfferUp and then robbing the sellers during in-person exchanges. The incidents happening in Middletown and Hartford last August and September. Officials are reminding anyone looking to buy or sell from an online marketplace to pick a safe, monitored exchange location like a police department.
Milford police arrest a man in connection to a street takeover from July. 31-year-old Kendall Rose is facing charges for allegedly driving a dirt bike recklessly. On July 8th, he was released on a $5,000 bond. He's due back in court next month.
Several bomb threats made at sites across the state have been determined to be unfounded. The TSA says Tweed New Haven Airport received an email threat that said bombs were placed at every airport in the state. State police responded and conducted sweeps but found the threat not credible. State police also responded to multiple threats made to synagogues that were also found not credible. Police say they are continuing to monitor the threats and are still investigating who made them.
As the conflict escalates in the Middle East, New Haven Mayor Justin Elicker gathered with community members outside City Hall this afternoon in solidarity and support of Israel.
Fox 61 political reporter Emma Wolfhorst was there, and she joins us now in studio with more. Emma.
Brent, Sarah, emotional stories today as community leaders and members join together to show support for each other and for Israel.
It's really a horror movie coming to life.
Sherelle fled her home in Israel this past weekend after the militant group Hamas attacked, killing civilians and taking people hostage.
The brutality and the horror that really happened. Yeah, we are used to wars in Israel, but not what happened.
She's now staying with her brothers in New Haven, but her parents remain in Israel.
I want to go back. Not easy to know that, my parents are still there.
Friday, Sherelle and her brother attending a rally to support Israel outside New Haven City Hall. The community gathering to pray, mourn, and call for action.
Before revenge, instead of revenge, let's get busy returning the dozens of babies, children, and mothers from captivity. Now.
Some people sharing their family stories and the accounts of those who lost loved ones, others raising signs and flags or simply lighting a candle. New Haven Mayor Justin Elicker also speaking to attendees Friday.
New Haven's Jewish community is part of our community.
He's among the many calling for support of Israel and condemning terrorism.
It is my hope that innocent Palestinian civilians too are spared from violence and suffering. We all continue to hope and pray for a lasting peace and an end to this conflict, a just peace.
A peace Israelis like Sherelle are hoping for, too.
We don't have other country, this is our home.
And as this war continues, a rapidly worsening humanitarian crisis is emerging in Gaza. Earlier today, Israel directed over 1 million people living in northern Gaza to evacuate as Israel is expected to begin a ground invasion. President Biden addressing this today, saying we can't lose sight of the fact the overwhelming majority of Palestinians have nothing to do with Hamas. They're suffering as a result as well. Sarah, Brent.